What is going on, fight fans? So there's some news coming in, reported by Boxing Scene, that it appears that Shakur Stevenson will be fighting, or that there's a plan in place for Shakur Stevenson to fight Tank Davis next. So let's go ahead and take a look at that real quick, and let's break that down. All right, so Vasily Lomachenko to step aside so Gervonta Tank Davis can fight Shakur Stevenson. Now, if this is a kind of consolation for Lomachenko not fighting Shakur Stevenson the first time around, and also killing two birds with one stone, it's easier to unify if you're getting older by allowing somebody else to unify, and then you can fight for two belts instead of fighting for one, so you can get closer to being undisputed, if that's the goal, which it appears to be the goal for Lomachenko. So it makes sense in two ways. He kind of repays the favor for not fighting Shakur and saying he was going to retire, and then the moment Shakur was out of the picture for him, he just went and fought Kambosos. This could be almost like a here you go, kid, but also it's easier for me to just fight one person, and if you get taken out by Tank, it might be easier for me then as well. This is a really good strategic play if this is going to happen. Let's go ahead and read it. Shakur Stevenson versus Gervonta Tank Davis could be next, according to a close aide of the fighter who was until recently in negotiations with Tank for a contest later this year. Now, this is super telling because it's coming from the Tank camp, not necessarily the Lomachenko camp. So that means Tank is trying to go this route, or Tank's team wants to go this route. It was reported that Vasily Lomachenko, the IBF lightweight champion, was in talks with Davis, the WBA belt holder, regarding a unification contest. But according to Davis co-trainer Kenny Ellis, the 36-year-old veteran is plotting a more direct route to lightweight supremacy. Lomachenko said he will step aside and let Gervonta Davis fight Shakur Stevenson this fall, and he'll fight the winner early 2025, Ellis said on Instagram. Given Lomachenko's age, one might presume he's better off fighting the likes of Davis sooner rather than later. However, Stevenson holding the WBC belt, Lomachenko could fight for 3 belts rather than 2 if he waits a little longer. Furthermore, should Davis defeat Stevenson, it'll be an even more marketable foe for Lomachenko than he is at present, which I think Tank is pretty marketable. There's no argument there. Tank is the second most popular fighter in all of boxing, bar none, other than Canelo Alvarez. And I think that a Lomachenko fight and even a Shakur fight can get him close to that 1 million pay-per-view buy mark. Furthermore, defeat foe, and should Stevenson win, Lomachenko gets the chance to repay the American for last night wearing a shirt with his wait, what am I reading here? Hold on. Last night wearing a shirt with his face on it and the words "Bob is saving his son from this whooping," right? Stevenson, who coasted to victory over, that's funny that they even mentioned that. Stevenson, who coasted to victory over Artem Haratunian, is now a free agent after revealing he turned down a $15 million offer from Bob Arum to Top Rank for 5-fight extension to his now expired contract with the promotional powerhouse. Last week, Stevenson told Boxing Scene that a fight with Davis would be the biggest fight in the world if we are really thinking about it. Every hood in America is going to watch that fight. That's the biggest and best fight to make in boxing. That's the game plan for me and the end goal. That's the fight that I'm going to kick the door down with. Honestly, that's the direction I want to go in. Okay, so there's no we're not guessing if Tank wants to if Shakur wants to fight. We've heard it over and over again. We're now also hearing it from the Tank camp, and I've actually heard it from Tank many times before, that Shakur is part of the hit list, so to speak, the list that he's creating so that he can catapult himself into the public consciousness as the number one guy, right? I think a fight with Shakur Stevenson is perfect for Tank. I don't believe that Tank has fought anybody to the level of Shakur Stevenson. Now, has Shakur Stevenson fought somebody to the level of Tank Davis? Probably not as well, right? It's probably going to be difficult on both sides, but I do believe that Shakur has fought tougher opponents. A lot of people will disagree with me because they'll say, you know, Tank fought people that I know, right? He fought Ryan, I know him, so therefore, you know, Tank is fighting, you know, people that are better. I know Rolly Romero. It doesn't matter that you know the person. It matters how difficult are they really? If they're not ranked in the WBA, WBC, IBF, right? WBO. It's hard to really judge if they're really good or they're just fighting bums. And then when Tank fights them, you know, Tank is just leagues above all these guys and he's not really fighting for world titles. What I love about Tank is that he is currently now finally fighting for the world title. He is actually the official WBA champion. Now, granted, it wasn't by beating a champion. It wasn't like he didn't win it he's not a lineal champion, but he's still now officially that champion, which means there's some desire there for him to kind of collect the actual belts and not just the regular belts. So if he fights Lomachenko, he can become IBF champion, but if he fights Tank Davis, Shakur Stevenson, sorry, he can become the WBC champion. And if he wants to be undisputed, he has to fight both of them or one of them, or he needs to get both of those belts, right? Whichever way he does it, right? If Lomachenko fights Shakur and Shakur loses to Loma, or Loma loses to Shakur, he got to fight the winner of that fight, if that's what's going to happen. But it doesn't look like that's what they're doing. It looks like they're going to start speed running this thing, and they're going for Shakur Stevenson next. This is super interesting. If we could get that fight this year in the fall, it would actually be a phenomenal fight. Now, I don't want to hear nobody in the comment section capping for Tank Davis. I don't want to hear them saying, this will be boring. Why would he fight him? He should just go fight Lomachenko, because it's just going to be showing your true colors. Because if you believe in Tank so much and he's the knockout artist, there's nothing more exciting to a Tank fan than to see Shakur Stevenson just get knocked out cold, right? So you should be super happy that this fight is going to happen, but instead there's probably a little bit of fear from a lot of Tank fans, believe it or not, if he ends up actually fighting Shakur. I think it's fun for them to talk about him never fighting him because Shakur is scared, or Shakur is not at that level, or Shakur would lose. But I think there's a genuine fear that if Shakur actually signs the contract and is going to fight Tank, and they do the press conference, the weigh-in, and they get in the ring, that Shakur Stevenson may outbox Tank Davis. But we won't know for sure until we see that fight. And the beautiful thing is, Shakur Stevenson is not with Top Rank anymore. It's actually more financially viable for Tank's team to make a deal with Shakur Stevenson than it is to make a deal with Lomachenko, who's still with Top Rank. Let me know what you guys think. I think this is fantastic. Of course, this is coming from Boxing Scene, which is a reliable source, but either way, it's actually coming from Tank Davis's team. As Kenny Ellis said, that they are going to have Lomachenko step aside. Lomachenko said he will step aside. This is beautiful. Let's have the best fight the best. I think Tank versus Shakur is just one of those fights where the best are truly fighting the best. Let me know what you guys think down in the comment section below. Do you guys want to see this fight? Do you guys think he shouldn't fight Shakur? He should just fight Lomachenko? Let me know down in the comment section below. I do think if he fights Shakur, that he's going to be doing higher pay-per-view numbers than Canelo. If Canelo ends up fighting an Edgar Berlanga or what's the other person? I think Chris Eubank Jr. are the people that are on the short list. That's a no. That's a no for me. No. Shakur versus Tank would do better numbers if we're being honest. Anyways, until the next one, guys, peace out.